this is my 2000 Civic SI. My piece of junk. My classic Civic. Accuracy, you know, pile of shit there, pile of parts there, more engine parts in the back there. If you didn't notice the laptop, there is one. It's shit box. Like the entire car is a shit box to the core, but it can go fast. Why will it go fast? You know what makes any Honda Civic go fast, right? The classic red valve cover, or is it the turbo? But what makes a shitbox a shitbox? Bro, look at these welds. Oh, they just go crazy. There's like no cleaning. It's like they didn't even run gas or anything. Like there's nothing happy about any of that. So I'm gonna need to redo that. You know, somebody tried and they did it. Oh well, I'm not certain, but then we go down there. The exhaust is routed for like into the fan, which is sweet and all, but the fan is melting. Yeah, the coolant is everywhere because I had a blown head gasket and that's not happy. Oopsies. It's a shit box. It can go fast. It's got rods, pistons, but it just needs some love. Actually, you know what? Before I do anything, I'll have to go through the build. So I got 75.5 millimeter Vitera pistons, right? That's great, classic. And then I've got Manley H-beam connecting rods. That's great. A junky little turbo. Definitely can make boost. I think it's 0.63 AR. I start spooling at maybe 3,000 RPM, which isn't bad whatsoever because I've gotten this bad boy up to 15, 16, 17, 18 PSI, I don't know. And that's why it's knocking, right? I forgot about that part. Yeah, it's knocking bad. I spun a bearing, tried to polish the crank, didn't put undersized rod bearings back in. So it's knocking again, so I'm just gonna get a new crank and do a rebuild. And then for injectors, I got some 550 cc's. I did the soldering myself because I needed pigtails. You know what, I'm honestly not too upset with that. Maybe I could put another bit of shrink wrap over everything, but whatever. The cheapo, shitty, well not shitty, I mean they do their job, except when they don't. The reason it didn't open, so I just maxed out the turbo. So that looks to me like what? I don't know. DNA motoring, I imagine. DNA motoring, I imagine. I think I was springing there for like 6 PSI, and then I have my manual boost controller, which probably does a whole lot of nothing. Little Mishimoto intercooler. What else even is there? ARP heads. The thing's built for 400 horsepower. The parts in it, everything, it should be able to take 400 horsepower. But I mean, it could be built to take 8,000 horsepower and still it's going to break when you're putting this much effort into it, right? Like it's going to break no matter what. Like, good God. I'm tuning this bad boy with Neptune and then a Demon V2. Yeah, 3-bar map sensor, just the basics, but like, so when I bought this car, it was cheap. There's a reason it was cheap. I knew there was a reason it was cheap, especially with the internals. And I got to keep some parts from the old one. So you can see, that's okay. That looks good. Okay. That one's a little scratched. Oh. Never mind. It was already knocking. So anyways, my theory as to why the car started knocking when it was in my position was it was already doing that. And the guy who sold it to me just threw some new bearings in, called her a day. Or it was me, like I don't want to blame this other guy. Maybe I'm just, well, most likely I'm an idiot. So I guess we're gonna look at the car now. This is her. You know, clean little Civic. Disgusting engine. Go fast, quick, cheap. And it's time to change that. It's not what it looks like. all of the assembly grease that I was using is in the rad cap, or not in the rad cap, but you know, valve cover cap, and yucky, weird. I could not tell you why the first thing I wanted to do was take the intercooler and all that piping out, but it's still kind of hot, so I don't really feel like actually touching the engine and getting that whole exhaust manifold off just yet. You have to drop the oil, the coolant, but it's hot right now, so just gonna have to wait. So I just started unplugging stuff, but it's kind of boring to watch, and it's boring as hell for me. So I'm gonna save that until I'm actually ready to pull the engine. But let's check the oil. I wanna know if there's metal. What? Why does that look okay? I wasn't able to get it on video, but this, yeah, there's metal in the oil. Oddly enough, with the spun bearing, that'll happen, but you couldn't see it on camera, which is unfortunate, but it's sparkly. Yeah, that oil pan, it didn't want to go under there without me jacking it up. So I just started pushing it, and then it went over. Hey! I didn't know I had any of that left. If only my coolant stayed that full. We're on to day 2 of me fucking around with this car, getting ready to pull this engine. I've got everything unplugged. I literally just kind of looked and said, that looks like it should be unplugged. Oh, that too. Never mind, not everything. Just about everything though. Now I just need to do axles and then start pulling and see what doesn't want to come out. I am also looking forward to porting that because, like, come on, really? I mean, it's actually not that bad, but it certainly could be better. You can't even see it, it's too dark, but well, maybe you can. They're gonna do that and then clean everything up. It'll be nice. I didn't know what this was. I'm assuming that's for the clutch, but I didn't want it to bleed any. I have no idea. But luckily, I just undid these 2 bolts here and she popped out. Didn't need to do anything too crazy. So far, Sonus is not that hard.